Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the What the Football channel. This is our season-ending show as our team, we didn't make it to the playoffs. So that last game was really good against Dallas. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some of the new players that were in the game, some of the big stuff in the news, what we can look forward to next year. And BH, how you doing?
Doing better. Hate the fact that we honestly choked it out against Cleveland when we had a chance to get in.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that last game showed a lot of promise. You beat the Cowboys. What a bonus. To beat them, that's great. Put some doubt in them as they go to Tampa, And and then I think the big thing, like you said, seeing some newer players, especially Sam Howell. It was 100% important that we saw that guy play a whole game.
Yeah.
We just had to. The quarterback situation is no secret. Wentz is gone. We've always felt that Taylor was okay, but not going to take us to the promised land kind of thing. And we just have to see Sam Howell because next year you can't go. God forbid we have to get a free agent or give away our draft to move up and get someone worthwhile. So now it worked. Now, if he'd gone out there and crapped the bed, well, we'll have a different show today because he showed enough. Yeah, it was great. It was good. It was fun to watch them. The game, it was funny. The shoe was on the other foot. It just goes to show you how, when you stumble early, make bad decisions early, do stupid things early, it just colors the whole game. And what did they do? Punter drops the ball out of the blue.
Yeah.
And then the return guy takes one off the face mask. And, man, they were discombobulated, and our guys took advantage of it. Hal got to throw his first pass ever is a touchdown.
Yeah.
That was great. So he was awesome, and let's face it, man. I mean, from the beginning of the season, look at it that way. Both our starting linebackers were not in. Starting strong safety wasn't in. Starting defensive tackle wasn't in. William Jackson gone. You're starting. I mean, literally, if you had said we're going to play the last game of the season without all these guys on defense, we would have said, oh, well, it's over. We're dead. But we weren't. Played together as a team. They looked like they were having some fun out there. And some of those young guys, like Chris Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, we were happy when they drafted him, and just there was a little roulette with the guards. Injuries here, injuries here. They just never played him. They stuck with Sadiq Charles. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad choice. Young guys, you don't know where they are in the system and how they're learning. They may be physically very good, but have a lot to learn. Or they may be like a guy like Paul could be very smart. He knows the playbook and he understands, but he's not NFL physically ready. He was, it's a big transition even from college. So anyway, he played the whole game. He played every snap. He was good. I think we saw, on defense, I think Khaliki Hudson played a ton, 100%.
Yeah.
He played every snap. Who's
47? I've seen his number all over the place.
All over. And who else had a great game was, the young guy that we got out of Louisiana.
Christian
missing him. No, Holmes did play a lot, but the young safety.
Percy Butler?
Percy Butler. He played a ton. These guys didn't just play a little. Howell, Percy Butler, Khaliki Hudson. Well, he's not a rookie, but
right.
And Paul, man, they got in there and just played a whole lot. So
Jarrett Patterson.
The running backs. Jarrett Patterson ran like crazy. He looked so good, man. Like we've always seen him. Isn't it amazing? Last year he was sort of the start, and when he played, he looked good. And this year, nothing. Just on the practice squad, just doing nothing. And then I thought, well, what happened? But when he got in the game, he looked like Jarrett Patterson. Same guy, can catch the ball good. He ran hard. He had a little quickness to him.
He was like a top returner.
Yeah,
He did good at
man.
kickoff returns.
Yeah, he's really good. We talk about that, in our future, when I talk about our replacements, he's a guy when we start to look at some of these guys that are going to go away next year, he's in the mix as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as that game, it was really fun to watch. It was nice to watch. I watched a lot of the Sam Howell stuff, and it was pretty interesting how he ran the ball well.
He did.
Good runner, good throws. He throw that deep ball to Terry was just incredible. Yeah. Oh, dude, and long. And so some of the things that were pointed out when I was watching, some things I saw myself, some things I was watching some videos, people pointing things out. And it was pretty obvious, though, that he seemed to have and I don't know why they didn't do this anyway. They kind of simplified things in that the plays were like, boom, pick your guy and go, pick your guy and go. And he did. And the thing that really separates him, I think, is that his release. He really did when he did his 3-step, 5-step drop. He looked and he fired. It was like boom, like the first touchdown to Terry. I mean, he took it, he looked. Terry was doing that little drag route, threw it to him, and he was gone. He didn't really mess around. I'm thinking, well, shoot, if simple works, why weren't we just doing it all the time?
Well, because Wentz can't do that. He's a 7-step drop back guy, and he'll just fold, and he takes too long to make his reads, and he just can't do that type of thing. And Heineke in the same way. Howell's got a little bit of height over Heineke, so he can cover that middle, and he was doing that too. So yeah, I think Howell's got it over them too, no problem.
No problem, and a better arm. He doesn't have, Wentz for a pure arm has a better arm in that regard, but not that release like Howell just releases it. And running was good. I was impressed. He doesn't look all that fast to me. He wasn't all that quick, like Jalen Hurts or something where you go, that guy's got some speed. But the thing that really separated him in a lot of ways is he seemed to know pre-snap where his zones were going to be. Mm-hmm. Like he was, he knew, like, so when things broke down, he had a mental picture because when he broke, nobody there. So he knew his zones to go to, not that he was looking to run, he was staying in the pocket. He got knocked around and sacked a few times, but when he did break, he went. And on the touchdown, he manipulated that pretty good because even though he broke free, there was a ton of Cowboys, and he went this way, went that way, went this way, and went in. And so he really looked good. He had some good vision running, and then to cap it off, the corner and the safety from the Cowboys came to get him, and boom, they went down like bowling pins, dude. I mean, that safety, he hit a brick wall. So we got a stout guy. And when I saw his college stuff, he was the same way in college. You don't want a quarterback running that way, but he was tough, man. Guys would try to arm grab him. He's not having it. He's a tough guy. So anyway,
the rock too. He secures the rock. It looks like he understands what that is as well. So.
Yep. And that was his only mistake in terms of ball security was, he tried floating that ball to Cam Sims at the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
Instead of on that throw, even if it was triple coverage, there's 3 guys there. You can still make that throw, but it's high and it's a rocket. And you wait for a big, tall guy like Cam to get it. So,
would have been an understanding of that play, knowing Cam Sims is 6'6" or 6'7", maybe even.
Yeah, he's a big guy, and he's the kind of guy that he's strong. He'll go up and get it, but he didn't really give Cam that opportunity. But I mean, other than that, man, you can't knock his play at all.
Yeah.
So and then obviously the defense played good with a ton of guys just in there for the first time. Percy Butler played a ton. When I looked at our Pro Football Focus, Fuller, who got the pick 6, was our highest rated guy. He had a great game. So that's good. They pay that guy a lot of money.
Before that pick 6, he almost got it the play or two before that.
It was the play before.
It was the play right before, right?
Yeah. I jumped off the couch. I couldn't believe it. I'm going, dude. I remember I said to my wife, I go, that's how you lose games, man. Not jumping on an opportunity and then the next play he ran it in. So he was good. And now here, shock of shockers. And you wonder, why do we do so good? Why do we play so well? What have I been bitching about, man? Is not just the offensive line, the center play from the offensive line. Not good, especially on pass. I went back and looked. Whether it was Chase, Larson, it didn't matter. Pushed back, 39 rating. I mean, bad pass blocking. Number one, Wes Schweitzer was our highest rated offensive player. He had a hell of a game. So I went back and watched a ton of videos. And sure as heck, man, him and the guards were creating, space and not getting back, and gave him some time. And so that was really good to see, and to have him have such a good, strong game. That was awesome.
We watched him come in and play for when what was it, 2021, when we had the center roulette, when we had Routier went down, Larson went down. We had him in there. We had John Toth in there. We had
Keith Ismael.
Ismael was in there, and then I think Schweitzer was hurt. Ismael went in for a little while. They taped up Schweitzer again, and then Schweitzer went back out and kept going. So we've seen him do good. How old is he?
He's 30, been around, but doesn't have a lot of mileage. So that's one good thing about him.
Yeah.
But that's and he's coming up. He's another guy that's got to get paid. Boy, everybody just really, it just seemed like, I don't know what it was. I hate to say this, but sometimes when the pressure's on, and like that Cleveland game, the pressure's on, and what's the reaction? You get guys who are tight and don't play their best game. Then the next game, hey, there's no pressure. We just got to beat the Cowboys. So everyone played loose and free. So anyway, that's on the players.
Now, you spoke about it earlier. The Cowboys were shitting the bed their own selves, but you can't count on the other team shooting themselves in the foot. So easy to get your heat on when you see the punter drop the ball, when you see their punt returner fumble it right into the arms of your guy, when you see him throw it right to Kendall Fuller for a pick six. It's easy to catch fire when the other team is doing crappy. It's winning football games is not about waiting for the other team to do crappy and then capitalize on that. You just can't do that. And we just got lucky in the fact that Dallas just played crappy. So
they did. They were flat.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were flat coming in or just those first couple of plays sent them on a tailspin, but you're right. And that did help a whole lot. So, but I think what we got out of that, though, is, looking to the future. I mean, let's talk about the big future. We need an offensive coordinator.
Right. In the context of selling the team.
Yeah. Who's gonna want to come here, right?
You sell the team without an OC?
No, you got to have one. So they got to get someone. Yeah. Because you've got to have an offensive coordinator, because Mayhew kind of said it. Hey, we got to go on. Like, we can't go, what about this? What about that? We just got to keep developing players, making our changes, get an offensive coordinator. And that to me makes sense. The problem with that is with what you're saying, the new ownership group, is there one? Isn't there one? Are they going to fire the whole staff? Who's going to come in for interviews if that's the case?
Right, exactly. What's that pool look like? Zero. So.
Yeah, exactly. And then, the only other thing you can do is, who knows? People hire coordinators all the time that suck, that have been around. Maybe it forces our hand and we take some young guy and say, well, this guy's willing to do it because he's young and he'll take a chance. That guy could be a star. You never know. It's weird. You hire a lot of guys with experience and they come in and, they're off to the next team 2 years later. So maybe we can go younger. There's some good young guys out there.
The Jets our scheme.
That's the other thing. And also, or here's the other thing, coordinator. Do they have a coordinator that comes in and you say, look, this is our playbook. This is our terminology. This is what we want to do here. Can you work with this?
Yeah.
We're not changing the staff or anything. Maybe you want to,
Right.
because that's, they might get a guy and so a younger guy might go, yeah. And these offense coordinators, they may have their favorite way of doing things, or they may have come out of a different system, but they understand systems. They understand run, a balanced attack, or they understand, a high flying West Coast type of attack. So, you might be able to get some, because that, Logan Paulson was talking about that. Holy crap, man. If you get a new offensive coordinator, are we doing all new terminology, all new play, different calls, different read and react? That you talk about starting over.
Yeah.
That's making your offense, despite the whole team being the same.
Yeah.
That makes your offense go, oh shit, ground level, new line calls, new audibles. I mean, and you got to start thinking before you make a play. So I don't know. It's tough. It's hard to get someone.
Though, you're going to do that with a new quarterback. You might as well, while you're on the ground floor, if you're going to change your OC with new terminology and stuff like that, you might as well do it with Sam Howell.
True.
He's already entrenched into what they were already doing, and line your OC up with him, because I feel like he's your go-to guy. He's a rook. Dude, he doesn't require too much pay. You cut Wentz and you keep Heineke as the backup. He's a great backup. You cut that Wentz money and give it to Daron Payne. But I think you fit the OC to Sam Howell, and I think Terry and Curtis Samuel and Dotson's still young enough. He's not too entrenched. You got your running backs like Robinson, and you've got Jared Patterson. They're not so entrenched. You got Chris Paul. He's on the line. He's not so entrenched. You know what I mean? So you could bring somebody in with new language and new things like that, and build from the ground floor again. So
yeah. And my thing is that you almost have to, because the scenario I painted before hardly ever happens. Usually you bring an OC in, they have their system, the way they like to run things, and it's only fair, because how can you give a guy a chance to be successful if you try and pigeonhole him to what you're doing? So all in all, like I said, this show's about more question marks than anything, with the whole ownership thing overriding.
Ouch.
So yeah, speaking of which, I mean, that's some of the guys were, you talk about saving money. I was looking at money, and, Carson Wentz leads the way, 26 million, but I see a lot of guys that I think are replaceable. And I added all up. I took Logan Thomas, Norwell, Sadiq Charles, Joey Sly, Chase Roulier. I put JD McKissick in there only because I'm worried about his neck, and twice a year, I just wonder, for his sake and forever, if JD's out of the picture. Yeah. I mean, it came up to about $42 million.
Get rid of them.
Yeah, and they're all, look, I mean, Paul already took over for Norwell. I mean, with our three, we've got Bates and those two, young
Rodgers and
Cole Turner. And then there was another guy, I forget another guy that got hurt in preseason, who he had brought in that looked really good. He'll be there to compete next year. I think out of the four of them, I think we're fine, because I think we saw quite a drop off with Logan. Joey Sly, just draft a kicker or get another free agent. It doesn't matter.
There's gotta be some leg coming out of fucking college that can kick a fucking extra point, dude.
There's a bunch of them, dude. There's some really good guys, 6th or 7th round. Just go to everyone. Oh, don't use a 6th rounder. Well, yeah, just go ahead and do it. Or another free agent, dude. It's not that hard. No. And it comes down to the money part too.
It's not all about prove that Joey Sly is not. You cannot rely on the guy.
He's not the guy.
Did he miss 2 extra points?
I think there's 3 total misses. Yeah.
Okay, maybe 2 field goals and 1 extra point.
Yeah. And it was Shankopotamus, man.
Dude,
it was like it left his foot, and it was, oh shit. It wasn't like
right.
Yeah.
The one was a 52-yarder, but still.
But it was a
56. He should have made it.
Yeah, and even the 52, it looked wobble. It just looked bad, like there was no confidence. So he's gone. That's 1.8 million. I love Chase, but we were talking pre-show. Chase is only 10 games in the last 2 years, and it's a lot of money coming up. We got to fix the center position. There's, Wes is there. We can look at that, but we've got a lot of 30-year-olds on this team. That's the bad age for anyone. It's crazy to say, but that's the NFL for you. It's a brutal sport. Huh?
especially linemen.
Oh yeah, just some guys can just keep playing, man. I mean, I remember Russell Okung. He just kept going and going and going, but that's not the norm. They break down. Those knees and lower backs go. But Chase Roulier, JD, Wentz. I mean, there's a lot of savings there, and we've already got people on the roster who could take. West can take over for Roulier. We get a drafted kicker. Cole Turner and the gang can go in there. Sadiq Charles. It's only $1 million savings, but as far as I'm concerned, the Sadiq Charles experiment's over. I mean, he's been here long enough, and he's just move on, man. They got some guy Noah Laufenberg who they keep him around. They sound him. They just signed him to for a futures contract. So they see something, but once again, we'll get into it in the draft. But I think with all of that, there's tons of savings. You can extend Cam. You can go with Daron Payne. That in my heart, I don't think they signed Daron Payne. I just don't think so.
Yeah.
I just wonder. And then they talk about the franchise tag. Well, the franchise tag for him is 19 million. Well, if he's going to get that big fat contract, and that's going to pay him he's probably going to be in the 18 million range. We'll just sign him to a contract. It's $1 million less against the cap. And then you're playing, and guys don't like to play on the franchise because, it's a lot of money, and that's great, but it gives them no security going forward. You get a bad hit. Go ahead. What's that?
Wouldn't you want to stay with Jonathan Allen and Montez and Chase Young on that end? I mean, he's in a position where he knows the guys around him on that front line instead of going somewhere else for the same money. I say pay him. You know what I mean? I think he feels comfortable where he is.
I do too. And then what a monster, three-headed monster at defensive tackle. Just incredible with what's his name? Mathis coming, Fedarian coming back.
Yeah.
I would think it would be great.
Even what's did a good job in his place.
Who's that?
Who our nose tackle is.
Oh, Ridgeway.
Yeah. He's a great backup. So we got a great front line. If we can keep Daron, I say pay him.
I do too. And I think, like I just said, I mean, I went over all that money, 42 million. We've got about, at this point going forward next year, we got about 12.5 million available for $54 million. I think to me, that's enough money if you let those guys go, to extend some people, get Daron, it still leaves you enough money for your rookie pool. And maybe a free agent or two.
Pay Heineke a little something.
He's in that mix, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to look at Heineke, Daron Payne, Wes Schweitzer's got to get paid. Now he's another guy. See, he's a free agent. Now he may want to stay. And then Cole Holcomb's another guy who I guess they have to look at his foot and see what his medicals look like. But him and Jamin were just getting it when he got hurt. And I just think he knows the defensive system so well. It's a shame, I think, but I think we should extend him personally. I think he'd be fine. And he's never been an injury-prone guy anyway. So I think he'd be great. So there you have it. I just think there's a lot of those guys. I think it's time for them to go, and let's bring younger guys up.
Yeah, it's already a young team, but you need to keep it young, keep it going, especially if you're going to change your ownership, change your OC, keep it young. We just had, what about Tyler Larson? What about, how old is he? Do we know?
He's another 29-year-old, and he's injured, and he got hurt. Now, Larson, I think, is still technically under contract, so we do have him coming back.
Okay.
We got Wes. I could have gone either way, like Norwell or Trey Turner. I mean, you can't just get rid of everybody. You got to have some continuity or some people. So I picked Norwell just because Paul played left guard, and that's where Norwell plays. And Norwell's a little older than Trey Turner. I kind of see them both as just being kind of average guys.
Yeah.
So I just got rid of one. So we still have Trey Turner. Still got Wes. So there, but we got to do something at the center position. The draft will be interesting. I don't know what they're going to do in free agency. Another thing, we talk about getting an offensive coordinator. Well, who wants to come here in free agency? If there's question marks, if it makes it tough. There could be a free agent guard out there. If you don't sign Deron Payne, well, damn it, dude, you better go out and get the best center free agent and the best guard free agent because, you know, you got to spend the money, right?
We talked about that before.
You spend your cap.
Yeah.
You just can't go, hey, look, man, we're 10 million under the cap. No, you get the best guys and you create contracts that work for you. That's why you extend players actually, because you get them in quickly and you eat a little bonus up front and then you keep them on, instead of constantly waiting for these guys to get to their fourth and fifth year. And it does piss players off. A lot of players are going, hey, I'm going into my final year of my contract, especially a rookie, because a rookie is a 5-year deal. And you're asking them to play and risking, head, back injury, whatever, basically on a last contract. And then they're saying, hey, well, why don't you re-sign me now? And then they don't. I understand it from both sides, but it creates a little heartburn. But if we don't sign him, man, they've got to go out and get some good players. There's a good young guard from Tennessee. He's only 26 years old. He's one of the top free agents out there. Not expensive. He's not a world beater. A great guy that I like is Ethan Pocic. He was drafted by the
Seahawks.
Seattle. Yeah. And for some, they dropped him. And he became a free agent, and then Cleveland picked him up, and he was all world this year. He did really good for them. Maybe a different system, blocking system.
He wasn't doing that great for Seattle.
Yeah, well, you know what it is like. It's always saying,
some guys play center. They made him play center and do some other stuff. They moved him around, so I don't think he was happy.
Oh. Might have been because he was happy at Cleveland, and they gave him a 1-year deal. He played great. That's the guy who you can go out and get. If you're not going to pay him, let's go get a center.
Yeah.
Just get one. God, we need someone in there. And then we can have Wes either play guard or be our great backup, which you end up needing. Yeah. Cornelius Lucas is the same way. So anyway, there's holes to be filled. We got to draft a kicker and a guard. I think we could probably draft a quarterback, but not anywhere in the top 4 rounds, just a flyer kind of guy, someone you can come in and develop behind Heineke and Howell, don't you think?
Yeah, the days of finding these journeyman quarterbacks is over. Stop doing the Smith. Stop doing the Fitzpatrick. Stop doing the Wentz. Stop doing those things. Dude, it's not working. It showed itself over and over again over the years. Just with Sam Howell, develop him. And I think I said it, maybe you said it too, but I just thought he was the guy they're grooming to be the next guy. And then when they got Wentz, that all kind of got muddied. And so now that that's cleared up again, I believe just move forward with him. Why not? Like I said before, he was technically a first round or second round pick. He just got bumped to the 5th round because of circumstance.
Yep.
Is all.
Yep.
So.
Yep. That's what it was, because he was like before the season started at North Carolina, he was a first or second round guy. He just lost everybody. I've been watching a lot about that. Diami Brown was there. They had those 2 killer running backs. They had, it was, like we talked before, North Carolina is not Alabama or Georgia, where they just get like 35 studs that just come in and they start all over, like no problem. Most teams have their ups and downs, and he had a down year, and he didn't complain or anything, and he had to run like crazy, had to run for his life. He just didn't have the playmakers, threw interceptions, but lucky for us, that brought his stock draft down, and we benefited, man. Yeah. So yeah, I'm with you. I think I've been looking at it already. It's a little early. We'll have I think definitely this year we're going to be, I think the next show we do, because I think we're not going to be doing weekly content. There's plenty of that out there to go see. It's not enough happening, but we'll do a pre-draft show, and we'll do an after the draft show like we did last year. Yeah. And I think also do a free agent show.
Yeah.
Just to see, because we're going to lose free agents. We're going to get free agents.
Yeah. I don't see why we couldn't do something even like after the Super Bowl, if there's enough information amassed over this amount of time jump in. Hey, maybe the team got sold. Maybe something else happened.
Oh yeah.
Throw something else.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I agree. I'm wondering about the timing because there's been a lot of negotiations that they had Bank of America out there already looking and setting things up and talking to people. I think a lot of it's financing, how it's going to get done. Um, so you want to look at they want to look at the people and their finances, vet them to a certain extent, and so a lot of the times the decision's made way before it's announced. But we'll just have to see what's going to happen. But that would be good. That would be fun if there was a change there. That would, they might have this thing where this is going to be the new owner, this ownership group. They're going to be new owners now, but it's not set in stone until it's approved at the owners meeting. That's fine. But let's have a show. Let's talk about this, and hopefully, let's see if these new owners talk about. Maybe they'll do an interview and talk about what they want and stuff and what they want to do.
Exactly.
So
cool.
Cool. Well, I guess the last thing to talk about is the draft. That will definitely be a big show because it always is. I saw some good draft stuff early. And one thing that struck me, because I think we do need to O-line for sure. And I kept thinking about guards and centers, but you can always get guards and centers second, third. First round, you get an offensive tackle. So I watched a couple people and a couple guys, and a couple of them made good sense. We're in a place there are some stud offensive tackles, dude. I mean, plug and play. I mean, monster guys that can come in. And they're saying, well, if you get this tackle, you can still keep Charles Leno at left for one more year, have this stud come in, play right tackle, have Sam just move over to guard. There's your guard positions taken care of. Paul and Sam Cosmi are the guards. And then next year, then you move on from what's the left tackle, and then you move the new draftee. You move the new draftee to left. Sam goes to right, and by then you've also made some moves for centers and for guards through free agency and the draft, and then you're bringing the age boom, 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 boom down, because if you got a 23-year-old left tackle, you got a 23-year-old center, got 25-year-old Sam Cosmi and 24-year-old Chris Paul, boom. Now, all of a sudden, you took that line that averaged 31 years old. Now they're averaging 25. And so I thought that was pretty.
It's smart. And I would challenge anybody, look at the teams that are up in the seeding, winning games. I bet they got the highest paid front lines. See what I'm saying? They have the best offensive lines, whatever that is.
Yep.
Whatever team is doing good, because like everybody says, you can control the scrimmage line. You need that offensive line to do that. You can't cobble like we've done over the last couple of years. You just cannot do that. Now, I know we've had injuries to the center and this and that, but you bring Trey Turner in as a journeyman. You bring Norwell in as a journeyman. Those positions need the kind of positions that need to be set in stone. You just can't plug it up with just some guy that you found and that's going to work. You can't do that. You need the front line to gel. And like you said, just like you just laid it out, you need to get these young guys in here and build from that bottom with Sam Howell, with Robinson, with Jarrett Patterson, with Jahan Dotson, with a guy like Terry McLaurin as a vet that's going to help them out. Bring Bates out, bring Armani Rogers out, bring Cole Turner out. Now you have a young, vibrant offense that just isn't with a weak guy here and a weak guy there. It's all consistent. And because the weakest part of our whole team is not being able to score points. Our defense does great and holds our team to low points. But our offense just, you can't win 17-16 every week.
Nope.
You can't just barely beat Atlanta by an interception or Houston missing a field goal or all that crap. So.
Yeah. And it is. I mean, they've got to know going in. I mean, they can look back and, admit your mistake. Yeah, we got some vets, gave them 2-year deals. It didn't quite work out. They're just kind of washed. They got to go out and do it. And if look, I really think they've got to prioritize. If they do that in the first round, I don't know how they're going to do it. They've got to get another corner. You got to have coverage, guys. We got receivers, we got tight ends. We got up the yin yang. We got defensive ends and tackles all over the place. But you just got to keep re-up in corner. I mean, we did lose a guy, even though thank goodness we got rid of what's his name, who went to the Steelers. I forget. William Jackson.
Yeah.
He had to go, but you're missing a spot. That's you want to have 3, 4, 5 guys. And I like Danny Johnson did a good job. I think, but I think they need to re-up that. And there's lots of them, dude. I mean, we're really lucky. Offensive tackles, cover corners. Whew, when you look at that, this draft is loaded with them. So we can do some damage. Nice. And we lose our third round pick because of the Wentz deal, but we did get a third round comp pick for Scherf. We lost him to free agency, and so we'll get like it'll be late third, but hey, it's a third round pick. That's where you can get an offensive guard or a center. You might even get a good strong center. So I'll be doing a lot of study on that. I love the draft, so by the time we get there, I'll have a pretty good idea of our top people and what we're looking at. So that'll be exciting.
Away. That's a month or two away, right?
No, I think we're looking at how's the schedule going. I think we got 2 months at least, because it's middle of March free agency, maybe March 10th for free agency, and then April something, middle to late April for the draft. So we're pretty far away. But once free agency hits and then the draft, man, get your roller skates on, because it's going. And man, there's a great opportunity for this team to really fix some things.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's sad to say it's the end of the show, but end of the season. But it's our second year. Holy crap. Who knew, right?
Yeah, man, we did it, man. And we streamed a ton more games. I mean, we streamed a lot of games this year. So that was awesome. So kept our weekly content up. Just the team let us down. Let's be honest.
Like we always say, this channel only does as good as our team wins.
So, yep. So it was a lot of fun. We had Chris and Veronica.
Yeah.
Mountain Man. We had our core people coming in. And I think like I said, that was a great core. Like Wheezy D came in. Yeah. And it would have blown up if this team could have, instead of falling down on the last 4 games, won 3 out of 4. Yeah. We would have, would have been better for everybody. But anyway,
yeah.
I'm excited, man. Got a new quarterback, some new ownership, which will, it's always good to shake things up, even in the ownership. Hey, a shakeup might not be a bad thing. See what happens.
Yeah.
Got
rid of North.
Could be good.
Jr. I think everybody's excited about that. So.
Oh yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Say goodbye, and we'll see everybody in a couple months, right?
Yep. Unless some big news pops, and we'll throw a show, so everyone will get their notifications, and we'll talk about it, whatever it is.
Sounds good. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much.